White Wolf. I usually don't do videos like this, but there's a reason why I wore my Supernatural t-shirt and also my Texas hat, because obviously Jensen and Jared are from Texas, so shout out to Austin, Texas. I lived there for a little bit, and I've also tried Jensen Ackles' brewery before. But besides that, I wanted to make this video and talk about the prophecies that are on Supernatural, like Sam's life being controlled completely by Lucifer. Also, there is not only psychic premonitions that Sam has in the very first season, where he's able to see things play out before they happen, also biblical trials that Sam goes through, going to hell with Dean. So there's many different parallels of like the masculine energy and the feminine energy that has a lot to do with the connection that Sam and Dean have. And then think about how Castiel, becomes like a servant to the Winchesters. So it's like he transitions from being this very fierce, very ruthless angel, and then he turns into their best companion, their guardian angel. So there's a lot of different things that I think are very interesting that I get from the show, but everything in the show is very much real when it comes to the supernatural. It's like in the 11th season when they face off Amara and try to work with Lucifer, God, Crowley, Rowena, everyone, so that they're able to combat and understand that there is a war between heaven and hell that's going on. So this is not just a TV show. This is actually a documentary. If you really think about the apocalypse, if you think about even biblical trials and stories from the Bible that are also added into Supernatural as well. It may not be exactly like it is from the religious text, but still there's wording, Enochian angel wording, there's symbols, there's symbolism, there's foreshadowing. Dean breaks his leg, Sam sprains his elbow. They both live normal lives as well. So if you think about, each one of them have these different psychological, fanatical, traumatic, eccentric, exciting journeys that are really deeply correlated between like God and the devil, light and dark, heaven and hell. And I guess when I watched it, and I've watched Supernatural all the way through 7 different times. So if you're going to ask me if I don't know what happens in Supernatural, you might be off your rocker. But as a light worker or someone that does meditation, that has done meditation for about 5 years now, I can comfortably say that each one of the prophecies, the connections, the characters have so much resemblance of what's going on in the world like right now. So if you're just watching Supernatural as maybe like a casual viewer, as someone who's watched it 7 times through, this time it hit true, because Sam's prophecy, when his life was dictated and all of his friends were demons, all of his girlfriends were demons, and then he, goes along the path of like teaming up with Ruby. Well, his life was dictated to like disappoint or go the different direction or be rebellious. So there's something I can relate in that, like Sam's prophecy and his connection to even God, but also like his dark side. And the same thing with Dean with like the Mark of Cain, right? So it's kind of like these different parallels of like undergoing a different specific type of stigmata. So I know this is like a really long video, but I'm really trying to piece together things that I see. He kills Hitler, he kills the alpha vampire. It's kind of like a back and forth of the divine masculine and the feminine. And then, resurrecting, coming back from the dead several times, um, different archangels that become allies, men of letters. So it's kind of like this whole thing. It's like this whole thing of like, um, because I noticed that like from the first season to the 5th, it's some of the best. And then you have like the sixth season, but then it kind of gets a little rocky at the 8 or 9 because it's about like prophets and scribes of God, like Metatron abusing his power, if you will. But then from season 10 to 15, it's kind of like they kind of went back to like the older ways of like storytelling, to where they're talking about you know different prophecies that go on, um, like the killing of death, the making of a new god. So it's kind of like, yeah, it's not just a show. And if anybody thinks it's just a show, I don't know what you're watching, because it's very much real. And like hearing some of like the things in the show, or how they're exercising even like the entities, or protecting themselves from the entities, like combating it. So my whole life, I was not just watching a show, I was actually watching a documentary.